Hey everyone, Grandmaster Ben Feingold here with the recaps from very exciting round 9. This is the game Ding Liren versus Jan-Krzysztof Duda. Let's have a look. Ding played c4, likes to play the English. They played this well-known line. a6 wants to play b5 and bishop b7. Plays queen c2 first. He says, okay, I'll play bishop b7 later. b6, bishop b7. And we get this very equal-ish looking position. Nothing too exciting. Players traded pieces, then they traded more pieces, and more pieces, and so on. Completely equal position. Nobody can really claim an advantage. Just boring equality. More trading. e4, bishop b3, rook d3, check. Okay, now the game gets interesting because white wants to win these queenside pawns, which are sort of bare, and black wants to win this pawn on e4 while he's pinning this bishop. So now the game actually got interesting. It's still equal, but it's more interesting than it was. Rook c3 pinning the bishop, so we can't play knight takes e4, we can just take it. No, I'm sorry, after knight takes e4, I guess we would play rook takes c2. In fact, it says you can do that. It says this is also equal. Man, everything's equal. Even when I try to blunder, it's equal. Okay, rook d1. Everything's equal. Everybody's happy. Okay, now it looks like black is active, but white plays the tactic knight takes a5 with the idea of rook c8 mate. So g6. He checks and defends his pawn. But black is still equal here because this pawn is attacked. This knight is pinned. This pawn's under pressure. Rook c1's coming. Still equal. b4, rook c1, threatening this pawn and threatening bishop e2. Knight takes b6. The rook is defended. Rook b1. Even though white is up 2 pawns, this pawn's attacked. This pawn's attacked. This pawn's under pressure. And immediately black is threatening bishop e2. So black has so many threats, it's still a draw. King g2, rook takes b4, threatening everything. a5, rook b3. Rook b3 is okay. Knight h5 was okay. Now here, the engine wants to just play bishop takes e4 and says it's just equal. It's equal material. It's not super worried about this pawn because my rook is on your knight, so you can't move the pawn. The bishop is protecting the queening square. So it says bishop takes e4 is equal. Played rook a3, which is not the best, but still in the draw zone. Pawn on e4 is attacked, knight e5. And here black made the losing move. And the move that's not losing is very strange looking. So I don't blame him, and I really don't blame him because it's move 40, and he had a minute on his clock. So I really don't blame him for blundering here. He's still in the draw zone if he plays bishop h5. The idea is with the knight on e5, not only am I attacking the bishop on f3, I want to play rook c7 and win on f7. The point of bishop h5 is if you play rook c7, I play g5, defending my pawn, and then I start taking all your pawns. This pawn's attacked, this pawn's attacked, this pawn's attacked. So very likely this would end in a draw. White still has some winning chances because white can play a6, but I would bet on a draw. Instead, he played bishop takes e4, and now after rook c7, he's just losing. Rook takes f7, check wins a piece. The knight on f6 can't be defended. So he moved the knight, and then white played a6. White's up a pawn. That's the pawn he's up. The pawn on a6. Well, I mean, white has bishop f1. Can't beat that. The rook's on the 7th rank. The king is trapped on the 8th rank. It's just a winning position for white. Knight b4, give me that pawn. No. Rook a7, you can't have it. Knight c6. Rook c7. Knight to d4. Never play f3. Takes, takes, takes. a7. It's equal material, but that pawn is going to cost black a pretty penny. h4. And h4, he has a funny idea. Well, he's stopping the black kingside pawns from moving. He's going to walk his king over here and win the game this way. He doesn't want him to sacrifice a piece for the a8 pawn and try to draw like rook and bishop versus rook. So he wants to keep all of his pawns. Bishop b5 attacking the rook. If the rook takes, then we have bishop c6. Uh-oh. Truth hurts. And then we check and queen. So you can't take on f4. So he played rook here, attacking the bishop, or so he thought. Rook d7. If you take my bishop, I'll take your bishop. And then if you check and play rook a1, again, rook d8 check and queening is winning. So he played rook a2, keeping the king tied down. The king went for a stroll. He said, no, don't go for a stroll. Just stay there. Don't move. Rook c7. Black can't move anything. He has to keep everything where it is. Doesn't want to play king g8. That's why he played king h8, because bishop c4 would be annoying with all kinds of threats. So he played rook a5, bishop d7, and his king gets to escape now. And he just walks up the board. And in this position, black decided to resign. The engine actually says plus 12. That's a big plus. Yeah, my bishop's coming to b5, my king's coming to a5, and I'm actually gonna try to queen this pawn without you sacking for it. I'm gonna try to block with my bishop on c6. So here the engine says plus 13 for white, and the pawn on a7 is too strong. Black resigned. Ding won his first game after losing round 1 and having 7 consecutive draws. And Duda, unfortunately, is in last place with only 3 points out of 9. Not a good tournament for Duda. Tough tournament. Man, chess is difficult. Well, I hope you enjoyed that game. I know Ding did. I hope you enjoyed our coverage of the candidates tournament. We're going to the World Open tomorrow, so round 9 is going to be our last round of coverage. Go, everybody. Everybody can still win, except Duda. And I'll see you guys next tournament. Thanks for watching the recaps on YouTube. Bye.